Rocky Ford is a small community nestled in the southeast plains of Colorado. Its humble roots begins in the late 1800s. The Colorado Plains History website explains that Rocky Ford was first formed 40 miles north of Los Animas County by Asa Russell in 1868. Later, he sold his trading store there to G.W. Swink, who eventually moved the settlement in 1877 due to the expansion of the Santa Fe Trail and Railroad system. According to the Colorado state government, watermelon immediately became a staple of the small community, and only a year after being established, G.W. Swink created the tradition of Watermelon Day by sharing part of his own crop with the passing train. Swink's passion for watermelon agriculture did not end there. The Colorado Plains History website explains how farming took off in Swink's small community with the development of 3 large irrigation canals in 1890, utilizing the small tributaries of the Arkansas River, including the Horse Creek from the north, Tempest Creek from the south, and the Purgatory or Los Animas from the southeast. According to the Rocky Ford Growers Association, by 1891, G.W. Swink was growing and shipping as much as 300 tons of watermelon per year. However, in 1800, D.W. tried to diversify Rocky Ford's agricultural income by establishing a sugar beet factory. With this new factory, the town and its traditions flourished. The sugar factory in Rocky Ford and one in a neighboring town brought a wave of migration from Europe as well as Mexico as people sought out the American dream. Even with this new diversification, Rocky Ford could not avoid the rising tension between those of color and those of European descent in America. A citizen in Rocky Ford remembers a time in high school when, even though the school was integrated, students would still physically separate themselves in the courtyard. Being of Hispanic descent, he sat on one side and watched people of European descent on the other side who would later become his friends and co-workers. With the end of segregation, this also ended the town's separation from each other, but the town was soon after hit with another devastation. According to the website Waymaker, the sugar company, which at the time was the ditch's largest shareholder, folded in 1979 after holding out even when the sugar industry in the state faltered in the 1960s. The Denver Suburban Reservoir had acquired the company's water rights and some prime farmland had dried up, leaving Rocky Ford's population and economy dwindling. People began to migrate in and out of the town to larger neighboring cities such as La Junta and Pueblo. However, the community and its other small businesses continued to persevere. The Cinema Treasure website states that this included one of the first movie theaters in the state, the Rocky Ford Grand Theater. It was originally known as the Grand Opera House. The theater did have to briefly close due to the economic hardships in 1989, but reopened in 1990. It continues to be ran today by a mix of volunteers, including members of city council and students at the school. The school continues to not only be a light of hope for the theater, but the community as well. According to Data Center USA, it is one of the largest employment industries. It is behind health and social care and is followed by public administration. These few industries provide hope for a better future. However, the current average income in Rocky Ford is only at $32,000 a year, almost $30,000 less than that of this United States average household income. This highlights the need for community members to continue to increase opportunities for getting revenue. According to the Colorado Plains History websites, farmers continue to expand their businesses by shipping their crops not only to larger markets in the state, but across the country and the world. With this, there has begun to not only be a movement of agricultural products in and out of the town, but people as well. People moving in search of a peaceful rural life, and sometimes leaving just as fast, searching for bigger dreams and larger communities. I watch as stores and businesses are sold and bought. Some move to new locations and others close down permanently, leaving me to wonder where the future of my small community lies. The recent impact of the COVID-19 virus has brought the concern of the community's future to the forefront, not only for myself but everyone who lives here. It has become apparent the need to continue to rely on our traditions, resilience, and dedication to the young people who live here in order to achieve a more secure future. However, as we approach the beginning of another school year, I am not only left wondering how our rural community will hold up, but how will my students hold up? How will we have the resources to get the students the education they need and deserve? And even if we have these resources, how will we face the emotional impact and devastation left behind by the virus?